Now we are in danger of being swamped by Muslims who bear a culture and ideology that is incompatible with our own. I love my country, culture and way of life. It's about belonging, respect and commitment to fight for Australia. This will never be traded or given up for the mantras of diversity or tolerance. Tolerance has to be shown by those who come to this country for a new way of life. If you are not prepared to become Australian and give this country your undivided loyalty, obey our laws, respect our culture and way of life, then I suggest you go back where you came from. Australia is predominantly a Christian country, but our government is secular. Our constitution prevents governments from imposing religious rule and teachings. The separation of church and state has become an essential component of our way of life, and anything that threatens that separation threatens our freedom. Why then has Islam and its teachings has had such an impact on Australia like no other religion? Islam sees itself as a theocracy. Islam does not believe in democracy, freedom of speech, freedom of the press or freedom of assembly. It does not separate religion and politics. It is partly a religion, but much more than that. It has a political agenda that goes far outside the realm of religion. It regulates Muslims' social and domestic life, their legal system and politics, their total life. Australia is now seeing changes in suburbs predominantly Muslim. Tolerance towards other Australians is no longer the case. Our lower courts are disrespected and prisons have become breeding grounds for Muslims to radicalise inmates. Antisocial behaviour is rampant, fuelled by hyper-masculine and misogynist culture. Multiple social surveys find that neighbourhoods of Muslim settlements are suffering from collapsing social cohesion and fear of crime. Australians in general are more fearful. Terrorism is not only seen around the world, but is now a part of our society, with Muslim refugees involved in the Lint cafe siege, the Curtis Chang murder in Sydney, and the stabbing of the 2 police officers in Melbourne. The Grand Mufti and other Muslim leaders are deafening with their silence or lack of sympathy. Radicalisation is happening on our streets, suburbs, in mosques, yet our leaders continue to tell us to be tolerant and embrace the good Muslims. But how should we tell the difference? There is no sign saying good Muslim or bad Muslim. How many lives will be lost or destroyed trying to determine who is good and who is bad? Muslims want to see Sharia law introduced in Australia. This law is the totalitarian civil code, which prescribes harsh feudal rules imposed on everything, firstly for Muslims, later from everyone. As long as Islam is considered a religion, Sharia conflicts will with our secular state. Australians have given their lives protecting this great land from foreign takeover. I can guarantee most didn't want to go to war, but knew it was their duty to ensure their loved ones lived in peace, but more importantly, they fought for freedom. I warn this government and future governments, you never miss the water till the well runs dry. Welfare is not a right. Unless you are aged or sick, it is a privilege paid for by hard-working Australians. I support the government in wanting to stop school leavers going immediately onto welfare. What message are we sending them? Teach them how to apply for a job, rather than encouraging them to become dependent on money they have not earned or worked for. Then we have the single mums having more children just to maintain their welfare payments, and Muslim men marrying multiple wives under their laws than having multiple children at our expense while they collect thousands of dollars a week from the taxpayer. How many have ever held a job? Why would anyone want to work when welfare is so very lucrative?